With my brother now set to come to Germany with me this year, I thought I'd put together a list and share with him the tips that I think are important to know before coming to Germany. So, I sat him down to share the knowledge I've gathered over the past 5 years. Okay. Acceptable physical distance between people. What we would call the personal space bubble.
This is a perfectly normal elevator ride.
This is much smaller in Germany.
This elevator ride is incredibly uncomfortable.
Before coronavirus, this was perfectly illustrated by how close people would stand in line to you at a grocery store. You will walk up and stand basically a couple inches away from you. It's ridiculous. Oftentimes they'll even press their cart up against your body. Now, you know, in America, this is considered a hostile act and is invading somebody's personal space. But in Germany, it's actually not an aggressive thing. The threshold for personal space bubbles and the acceptable distance between people is just much smaller. So it's pretty tough to get used to, but be ready for it. Say what you mean. So Germans are very authentic and genuine people, but they're also very direct, and they'll expect the same from you. You know how in the US it's sometimes more polite to kind of beat around the bush and not say something that might hurt someone's feelings?
How about you, Pam, me, Casa, little dinner, dancing, drinks? You said you didn't have plans.
Well, in Germany, it is considered rude to do the opposite. It is more polite and better mannered to be direct and say something that may actually slightly hurt someone's feelings than beat around the bush and be ambiguous.
What time should I be arriving?
Dwight, this couple's on late.
So, be direct. Punctuality. Do not be late. So we're lucky enough to have played college football and had this instilled in us, but Americans sort of have this reputation for not being as punctual as German people.
Right, you don't do this, you don't keep a man waiting.
Now in Germany it is considered rude to be late, which I 100% agree with. It's wasting people's time. I think everybody should think about it like this.
And you're late.
What?
You're late.
Make sure that you are punctual and you are not late to events or meetings, what have you. The DeutscheBahn. When booking a train with the DeutscheBahn that has connections, always, always, always book a trip that will get you to your destination earlier than you need. The DeutscheBahn for a German organization is surprisingly unreliable, and you'll oftentimes miss your connections, which can be pretty devastating if you're dealing with a hard out such as a flight. So always assume that you will miss your first connection with the DeutscheBahn. This is a very important piece of advice. Eat and enjoy the food. German food is actually really good, and typically it tastes a lot better than it looks. I'd say that Germany doesn't have a great reputation globally for its cuisine, especially compared to other European countries like France or Italy, and the food actually is quite underrated in Germany. If I had to sum it up in one sentence, I would say German food looks bad, but tastes good. So realize that Germany is not just the South and Bavaria. You need to visit many different places in the country as possible because it has such a wide array of diverse landscapes, cultures, foods, drinks, and lifestyles. Like Munich in Bavaria is wildly different than the northern Germany, and Hamburg, which is wildly different than western Germany and Cologne. Although I will say the south is definitely the best, and northern Germany is gray and gloomy all the time. German bread. The bread and the baked goods from German bakeries are substantially better tasting and even healthier for you than most American breads. Go to German bakeries as much as possible. I would say that a late morning butter pretzel and cappuccino from a German bakery is one of life's greatest simple pleasures. People in Germany stare. It's very uncomfortable and it will take a lot of time to get used to it. You know how in America, if people are looking at you or someone in public, they'll try to be sneaky about it? Well, in Germany, there's no attempt to sneak.
You talking to me?
If you catch somebody staring at you, they will just continue to stare harder. It's like that Kanye West meme. Outright wide-eyed staring is common whether you're on the train, walking down a street, or in a store. But you got to think about it in the same way as the personal space thing. It's not like an aggressive act. It's merely out of curiosity. But just be prepared for that. It is uncomfortable. Driving on the Autobahn is serious business. You need to be absolutely focused and locked in. This is not like American highways. You can't just dilly-dally in the left lane. And no matter how fast you're going, there's always going to be a BMW zooming right up behind you going 260 kilometers per hour.
Achtung! Du verdammt Depp! Schneller!
Go fast, go with the flow, check your mirrors, but enjoy the speed. It's pretty cool and fun.
Well, boom, hit it. Ready? Oh, yeah! Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Now, with that being said, this rumor that there's no speed limit ever in Germany is totally wrong. There are certain stretches of the Autobahn where you can go as fast as you want, yeah, but there are also other stretches that have speed limits. And back roads always have speed limits. So you're not going to get pulled over by the police, but you will get blitzed. And unlike the trains, those tickets will come in a very timely fashion. And soak it all in. This is a new country with incredible people, a rich history, amazing landscapes, and so much to offer. Don't get caught up with wishing certain things were more like America, but instead relish in all the differences and dive into the experience. Coming to play football in Germany has by far been the best decision I've ever made. And I'm sure it will be for you too.
You talking to me? Okay.